Hi. Video for Boston again. So the chorus, and so this is about 42 seconds starts, and we've just done, and then we land on this note. Yeah, fifth fret of the low E string, which because it's tuned down to D, this note is G. This would have been G at the third fret, but we have to compensate by going up 2 frets because we've tuned the string down 2 frets, if you like, from E to D. So anyway, we're on this note, yeah? So we've done 7, 7, 0, yeah? And then 5th fret of the low E string. And then we've got this phrase, right? So this bit, there's a lot of damping involved. Damping is when you stop the note from sounding out. So when you choke the note, yeah? So you don't have where they all run into each other. We've got that sound. And let me just take a look. Yes, we've got 5th fret, and then a slide up to the 10th fret, yeah? Now, you can see what I'm doing is I'm using my first finger on the 5th fret. Let me have another listen to the tune. Yeah, you hear. So you can see you've got two number 10s on the low string, yeah, on your low E string, tuned to D. And you've got an X before it. And I would say if you actually hear the video, hear the song, that X is really, it's a slide, and it does get to that note on the 10th fret. So what I'm doing is, let me put myself back here. First finger, and then notice I can stop the sound of the string with either hand, yeah? With my fretting hand, I just release the pressure, and there, the note stops. Rather than that, I've got, yeah? But I can also stop the note with my picking hand. So here, I'm keeping my finger pressed, my fretting finger, pressed on the fretboard, but with my picking hand, as soon as I've plucked a note, as soon as I pluck the string with one finger, I put the other finger on it, or you could do it with the same finger. But again, if you can get those two fingers, those walking fingers working, it's better because it makes it easier for speed and for timing in the end. So I pluck with one finger and then put the other finger on the string, just touch the string to stop the note. Now the finger is on the string, and then I can pluck with that finger and then put the other finger on the string to stop the note, and then pluck with that finger, etc. Yeah? So we've got ways of muting with the fretting hand, release the pressure, ways of muting with the picking hand, pluck the string with one finger, and then put the other finger on the string to stop the note. So I hear ba, ba. So I've got pluck, tap, and when I tap like that, I actually do release the pressure of my fretting finger, and I also bring my fingers or finger. I tend to use both at this point. It varies. There, I'm just plucking with my first finger, then bring it down on the string to create that, yeah, a percussive sound. Da, da. Rather than just, really, you can do either, yeah. You'll hear bass players playing both ways. Okay, you can just go, and that was me muting the string with my fretting finger, or with that little percussive thing of the picking hand finger touching the string in between. Yeah? As opposed to very slight difference really. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter which one you choose. Yeah. So what we've got is, and then we've got a slide. Now I'm going to use my fourth finger. I'm going to place it on the 7th fret, but you're not going to hear that 7th fret much at all, or you shouldn't really hear it at all. It's a grace note. Because as soon as I put my 7th finger, brilliant, as soon as I put my 4th finger on the 7th fret, I'm going to slide it immediately up to the 10th fret. And that takes work in itself, yeah? Just getting the accuracy of that slide with the little finger from 7th to 10th fret. I would practice that by itself, isolate it, yeah? So, just keep going around that phrase. And if you don't want to do the whole thing, just isolate this movement, because this movement takes some getting. Yeah? Okay, so that gives us the first phrase. And we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Do, do, da, da, da. And you can hear it's ba, 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 staccato. So again, I'm muting, choking the notes. I could do it by keeping the little finger on the string and do the thing that I talked about of just plucking the string and putting the other finger down on the string to mute it, to choke it. But I kind of do both at the same time. I do that with the picking hand, and I also release pressure here on the fretting with the fretting hand, so that I'm, yeah, pressure, release, pressure, release. So that gives me ba, 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 that sound. And then we've got this, haven't we? 7, 7, 9, 7. And this is going to involve the technique, if you're doing the rest strokes that I was talking about in the last video, of pluck, pluck, rake. See, so I'm on the A string, pluck, pluck, and then whatever finger I've just plucked with then, that was my second finger, first, second, and then I use my second finger to rake down onto the lower E string, yeah? And then I've got to get back to the A string to pluck that. And again, that takes some time to get that technique. So I would just isolate this little bit. Because this technique is fundamental to bass playing. You'll find it again and again, this raking thing, yeah? So once you get it for this song, you've got it for all songs. And it can be quite boring just taking a little section and repeating. But that's why don't do it for 2 hours or anything, just do it for 2 minutes and then carry on. But each time you encounter it, the next day when you play and you get to this bit and maybe you still can't play it, then just take 2 minutes on that bit again and then carry on to the rest of the piece, so that your practice is a mix of actually concentrating on physical things, technical things you can't yet do and you need to learn how to do them. So at first they won't feel nice, and well, they certainly, I don't mean like they shouldn't feel painful, but they won't feel easy. That's the thing. You know, when you first start playing something you haven't played before, it doesn't feel easy, does it? So it won't feel easy, and that's the stuff that you have to practice, and then make your playing time a mixture of that and the stuff that you actually enjoy, yeah, the fun stuff. So get on to the rest of the phrase, the whole... whatever it does there, I'll have a look at that. But yeah, try the whole phrase as well, because obviously, you know, that's the fun bit, playing the song. So this bit was... let me just check that. Yeah, so that was that bit. Then we've got... I think that's the timing. Let me check that. Yeah, it is the timing, but I just check it. We've got 0, 5, 5, 3 on the A string, and that 0 to the 5, you can see in the standard notation above, it's semiquavers, 2 lines on the top of the stalks. So they're 16th notes, yeah, the 1E ender, 2E ender, 3E ender, and so this happens fast. So I would, again, you could try doing it, plucking the 0, plucking the 5, but I would just do a hammer on from the open A string 0 to 5th fret. Yeah. Let's hear that again. Yeah. Now, you'll notice the position of my hand, yeah? Now let me get back to where I can see me. The position of my hand. For this bit, I'm using my 4th finger and 1st finger again. Bass players do that a lot, yeah, because we talked about this. The frets are wide, and to do 3rd finger and 1st finger as you would do on a guitar, because they're 2 frets apart, it's just, you know, unless you've got massive hands, it's quite uncomfortable. So they end up doing this, yeah, little finger and 1st finger. So it really does pay to develop your 4th finger strength, yeah. Now, I've got that hammer on, then everything else is plucked, yeah? Now the position of my hand I was talking about, I started here, went up to the 10th fret with my little finger, yeah, slid up, then came down, moved the whole hand down to the 7th and 9th fret, again used my 1st finger and 4th finger, then brought the whole hand down to this area, yeah, 3rd and 5th fret, and then I'm getting, like I said, the 5th fret with my little finger and the 3rd fret with my 1st finger. So I started off in this position, and my hand was around the 5th and 7th fret, yeah, because I was going, went up to the 10th fret with my little finger, brought, yeah, down to the 7th and 9th fret with 1st and 4th finger, and then brought the whole hand down to the 3rd and 5th fret for this bit, frets 5 and 3 on the A string, yeah? Okay, now, then it pretty much does exactly the same thing again and again, but a little variation. When it gets to the end of the phrase, this time, we've got an open E string rather than 3rd fret of the A string, rather than this note, we've got that note, yeah? So it doesn't go 0, 5, 5, 3, it goes 0, 5, 5, 0. And because of that, I don't need to have my hand in this position anymore. So I can do that after this bit. I can do that hammer on from open A to 5th fret A with my 1st finger, because I don't need to be down here, because my next note after this hammer on is that open E string, yeah? And then I'm back to, and then my 1st finger is well in place to go back to 5th fret of the low E string to start again. And then it just keeps doing that from then on, yeah? So that first one was different because it did that, but after that it just keeps going and then cycles. Oops. Then at the very end, it does you've got 4th fret here, yeah? So that time I played the 5th fret of the A string with my 2nd finger, so I could get to the 4th fret quite easily. Let's have a look. Yeah, there. Yeah, and that's at the end. Rather than having to quickly move my first finger around, just that last time, I might even do it with my third finger actually, third and first or second and first, and then you're back to the 5th fret, and then you end, the chorus, 13th fret up here. So if I've got my little finger, if I'm doing it with my little finger, which I advise, get that little finger working, then 13th fret here. I think, I don't know. Well, you could also play it 6th fret at the A string, and from the sound of it, I don't know where he's playing it. I'd have to. It sounds more like he's playing it there actually. So. So you could do it there, or as I have it in the tab. Up to you. Okay. Okay. I hope that helps, and I will see you next week.